بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين أما بعد. When a doctor prescribes a medicine or some kind of exercise, because actually doctors themselves are not all knowing and all powerful, or they have healing powers, so there's always possibility that person will not be, the medicine will not benefit the person and the person will not be cured. But if the doctor exactly knows the illness, is fully knowledgeable about the prescription, and the medicine is known to be very 100% effective, then one thing is clear, that the medicine and the prescription works. And if the patient still does not become cured, this means the patient has not taken the medicine properly. So in that light, one should understand Allah does not need fasting. He does not eat or drink. He does not need Ramadan. He is not in need of fasting. Because many people have this notion, oh yeah, we are doing it for Allah, as though they are benefiting Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You're doing it for Allah to please and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and to benefit yourself, not Allah Jalla Majduhu. It doesn't make 0.0 million% difference to Allah if all people, it's as though they don't exist. The earth is a speck of dust in millions and billions and trillions galaxies. It's like you have billions and billions of palaces, big palaces as one country. What will matter one village which you own, what's happening there, or someone is not listening to, because you own so many billions of big palaces and countries. So one should not be in the mindset of in any way that Allah Azza wa Jal subhanahu wa ta'ala is going to benefit. Because this is the first issue, first problem why many people do not benefit, because they think, I don't want to fast, I want to enjoy myself. Okay, I will do it for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It's as though something which Allah wants, something which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala needs or anything. No, it is you who need the prescription. It is you who need the fasting. But why? Because the illnesses have come in you, not in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He is free. He says, وَلِلَّهِ الْأَسْمَاءُ الْحُسْنَى. He have all beautiful names and beautiful qualities. And who have the ugly ones? It's me and you who have the ugly ones. Immodesty, bad behavior, jealousy, backbiting, laziness, hatred, envy, and oppression, greed. Who has that? Not Allah. He is Sabur, He is Shakur, He is Jawad, He is the most generous, infinitely merciful. So who have those evils? It's me and you. Second thing, who are they harming? Those ugly things or bad attributes or bad character. Who are they harming? Not Allah Jalla Majduhu. You or your spouse or your parents or your community or the world which you are living in, they are harming these things. So it is your need. You need badly. Whilst Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does not need it at all. So first thing you should be knowing is as though you are suffering from a non-curable disease. No, like Corona came, they said, no, there's no cure for it, there's no vaccine. Imagine another illness comes and there's no vaccine. But one person somewhere living in Australia or some island in Sumatra, or you know that he has discovered the cure, the vaccine for this. And all we are suffering is a disease bad than cancer and it's affecting everyone thing. How badly will people want to go there and they want this? What the country is now, when the vaccine of Corona was discovered or the solution, they said, no, give our country more, give us. And everyone, oh, actually, I want one especially. Especially those who have suffered and seen their relatives. Others are living in their own world. Oh, there's nothing. And thousands of people have died. And they think. So one can just close their eyes, but the effects will still remain. So if someone develops a cure for cancer, and you have cancer, you have cancer in the liver, you have cancer in the blood, who will need that cure then? It's you. So much worse is the condition now, the cancer of sin and bad attributes and bad behavior is destroying not your body, your iman, and your relationship with the people, and your relationship with the Creator, and it's also destroying yourself, like cancer destroys your physical body. So these evil things destroying even yourself, and also your life here forever. You had the potential to go in such a palace, not Buckingham Palace, a palace big as whole of England, and live there and rule there in a country, not even knowing the borders. You should have been king, and then you are thrown into one of the dungeons, dumped in hell for some evil, these attributes. How a great loss is this? How a great loss is this? That's why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, وَالْعَصْرِ إِنَّ الْإِنسَانَ لَفِي خُسْرٍ. That a human being is in loss, except actually what Allah Azza wa Jal mentioned. So one should have this kind of mindset in the beginning, that I need it badly and it is for me. Forget about, okay, what it is fard, yes, but you need it anyway. That is mercy of Allah, He had made it fard. Meaning it's like some doctors, they think, oh, this person is in coma or he is insane, he doesn't know, but he needs this medicine. So they force medicate him. They inject, oh, he needs this, he doesn't know. That's our situation. We are mad and here, there, and then little bit of difficulty come, and then we weep and wail like actually whatever you can say. So one of the scholars, Imam Ibn al-Qayyim, he gave a very beautiful example of Ramadan. He said that the example of Ramadan is the example of the 12 sons of Sayyidina Yaqub alayhi salam. So he had 11 brothers and 12th one was Yusuf. So he said amongst those 12, there are 12 months, Sayyidina Yusuf was most beloved to Allah and Sayyidina Yaqub. Ramadan is the most beloved month to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And like those 11 did something inappropriate, they were jealous, they put him in well, they sold him as a slave, they actually tried to kill him basically. So they did all these evil things, the 11 of them. So we also sometimes are doing all kinds of evil things in 11 months, like the brothers of Sayyidina Yusuf al-Islam. But when they went to Sayyidina Yusuf al-Islam, when he was king, he had a mercy and blessing upon them. He said, I forgive you. I will ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to forgive you. And I don't hold you accountable. So similarly, that like Sayyidina Yusuf, the 12th month, Ramadan is a mercy and blessing. If you bring the evil deeds of 11 months properly to this month and to present to this month you will be blessed. He can, like Yusuf al-Islam, source of a blessing and peace for his brothers. Ramadan can be for your other 11 months. What other lesson? Sayyidina Yaqub alayhi salam, he was living every day, but his eyes, he lost his sight. He was living with his sons, his wife, but he was not gaining his eyesight. Only the shirt, the jubba, the qameez of Hazrat Yusuf, the 12th son, came, and when he put that qameez onto his eyesight returned. So the 12th one, meaning 11 months we are not benefiting, or some people we are not benefiting from our friends and things. In this month, try to sit with someone who is connected to the Creator. And you might also be able to smell the scent of closeness of Allah, the qurb of Allah. When you sit with someone, and like Sayyidina Yaqub alayhi Islam's eyesight returned, although his heart was illuminated, our blind hearts might also rekindle. Our blind hearts might be able to see by sitting with someone, not sitting with any willy-nilly here, there, normal here, there people. They will not benefit you. Like Yaqub alayhi Islam's sight didn't come with interaction with others. It came just qameez and the smell, fragrance, scent of that qameez, his eyesight returned. If you sit with a friend of Allah for a short while, having good opinion, you will also be able to smell some fragrance because he is connected to Allah, he is connected to the Prophet Islam. He has those attributes. So you will be also able to, your heart also might become enlightened as well. That is why you see always the evil one becomes evil because they are accompanying evil ones. The good ones become good because they start accompanying someone good. So that's what Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said. He said, beware of one thing, meaning this is interpretation, sharh of hadith, I'm not mentioning the translation. He said that in that hadith, what it means is that beware what lifestyle you want to choose. You want to choose lifestyle of people, hellish people who are going towards hell, or the people, heavenly people. He said then, if you want to go towards heavens, choose your friend wisely. He uses the word deen and khalil, that a person is on the lifestyle or on the deen or the system of his friend. Ala khalili. The khalil means a close, intimate friend. So though your close circle, you say, this is my best friend, and he might be the best friend of shaitan, then he is only camouflaging until he shows you true color, and then you will cry over a life, oh, there's no friendship. He is not at fault, you are the fault, you chose wrong one. It's your choosing which was wrong, not something wrong. He was a fraudster from day one. But it is you who actually went in with whatever he has. So sitting with, so this in this hadith, the Prophet ﷺ indicated that if you befriend a real friend of Allah or pious, righteous people, you will also come and live on their pattern. Why were the Sahaba, Rizwan Ajmain, they were, when the people saw them, they show reflection of Rasulullah alayhi salatu wasalam. Why? Because their friend was Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, greatest friend, and Khalil, and they loved him annually. And this has effect. No matter you love a prophet or you love shaitan, you will go on their deen. The deen, the system of shaitan, also actually they will. So one should be aware of that actually. Before Ramadan, one should try to see that what type of people you are in. This will affect you definitely. If you look at yourself and your way of talking, your way of sleeping, your way of doing things, you can see who your friend is, who your real friend is. You can see your friend in the mirror. Yeah. Because that's the actually reality. Even if you befriend or come in love with whatever, even a profession or a sport like football, cricket, or actually a dancer, the color, the effect of those people will come on you definitely. You will come on their deen. Meaning, deen means system, a way of life. How actually? So if you want to go towards London, then get on the right motorway. It will take you. Okay, it's not London, but it will take you to London. If you want to go towards actually North Glasgow, then you are there. So friendship are like motorway. They will take you to their deen. So Rasulullah alayhi salatu wasalam emphasized, and he mentioned qualities of good friends. One of them is they are not very talkative. They are mostly silent. They're mostly silent. इसी से सारी friendship का पता चल जाएगा. And that friend, you cannot stop talking. They can talk hours on end on phone and things. They have discredited themselves of the friendship criteria of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. One Sahabi, Abu Samra or radiyallahu ta'ala anhu, another one, he was an elderly Sahabi. His other young Sahabi is asked that you have sat with the Prophet alayhi salatu wasalam. How was his majlis? How was his? He said that when we sat with him, he was tawilu sukut, tawilu samt, that he was silent most of the time. Even if we were sitting with him, he was not talkative here, there, like we used to. As soon as we sit with someone, we actually, it's like someone switched on now, as they say. The wise people say things only when there is something to say, and the fools say something when there is nothing to say. Because there's nothing to say, they like to speak actually. So obviously that will come. So he said, although we were sitting, the companions of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he was mostly silent. We would speak about stories, we would tell and speak about the stories of Jahiliyyah when we were not in Islam, and we will laugh. All he would do is sit with us, just giving us his presence and attention, and most he would do is smile. And he was silent on these matters, unless he wanted to speak actually. But so this means he did speak, but actually not infrequently, not majority. So, but you see people in the mosques here, now Isha prayer, before Isha, you are going to be presented to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. People are whispering, talking. What will they get? So if they keep whispering, shaitan say, okay, I will whisper as well. As one of the rich people, like a king, he came to a scholar. He said, look, oh scholar, I am a busy man. I'm running the country and things. I don't have much time and things to understand Islam and other. Very briefly, if you can mention something which I can, something, what is the essence of religion really? Can you mention in one lecture or some short discourse? He said, no, I can mention in one word. He said, yeah, that's wonderful. He said, what is it? He said, one word is silence. Silencing the emotions, silencing the desire of the nafs, silencing the inner talk, self-talk, and silencing anger. Silencing meaning actually peaceful. So that's why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala summarized all of the deen in one word, Islam, peaceful. So when he said one, it can be summarized in one word. Be at peace, and silent person is peaceful, not the one who is quarreling. So he said one is silence. He said, tell me something else. He said, well, yes, the second thing is that if you do become active, you want to speak, you want to act, you want emotions to run, then let them benefit and be peaceful. Let them benefit others. So when you open your mouth, open your emotions, or you start acting. So he said, this is the summary of whole of Islam. He said, then what about prayers and things and all these fasting? He said, those are means to get here. Those are means to get to here in peaceful state, in a state of silence and connection. Because actually, why one of the Shaykh said that why Rasulullah was most silent and other people, they said because their inside was communicating with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, so they didn't have time to speak. They would only speak when there was need and the command of Allah. Because our inside is disconnected. We are not connected there. So only connection is here in the tongue. So there. And that mostly also harms people. Most of the problems and difficulties, actually, they are there. So one thing in Ramadan, if you want to do, as Rasulullah ﷺ said in one of the hadiths, that stopping to talk, to avoid wrong things, just being silent. In the one hadith he mentioned, it is equal to 60 years of worship. 60 years of worship. It's a hadith. Imam Bayhaqi narrated this hadith in his book with Da'if Asnad. But that is what it is. So people say, how much tilawat shall I do? How much? Don't do anything. Just be silent. Don't disturb people. Don't dispute with someone. Don't do backbiting. By ye bhi kar le, na kuch zikr kare, your Ramadan will also be a blessed one. Because silence itself is an amal. It's beauty. And speak when wants to benefit. Speak once you know my speaking will benefit people. Otherwise, just staying, because that's why you find in Ramadan there are so many arguments happening in many countries, killings happening, in husband and wives are quarreling here, there, other disputes and families. Why they're happening? Because of that one thing. And the Prophet ﷺ emphasized so much. He said, "Man lam yada' qawl az-zur," that this qawl, meaning saying things, falsehood, and he said, this is integral part of the fast. Allah will not look at your fast if you don't do, because this is actually thing. So people ask me, how many paras Quran shall I read? How many tasbih? I said, don't do anything. Just remain silent. Don't harm anyone. Fast and do your prayers, and be good with at Sahri time, be good with Iftari time, be good. During the work, be good. When you get up, be good with people. Make people happy. Make people joyful. Have good conduct with them. And don't do any dhikr, anything. You are still a blessed. Even don't do Taraweeh, you still actually will gain closeness of Allah. But if you do Taraweeh and you are doing one khatam of Quran every day, and you are praying tahajjud, but at the same time you are doing ghibat, you are doing actually harm, quarreling here, defraud, harming people, then all these nawafil and sunan cannot actually save you. So know how to set priorities and right actually. Like the hadith which has been mentioned. So just a few things about the spiritual fast of the nafs. This is not the 8 levels of fast of the body, mind, heart, soul. This is we are focusing on the desires only now. So just to give you an idea. Because normally what happens is that we get distracted from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, from the presence of Allah, because of eating, drinking, tiredness, fatigue, or third is earning, working, business, fourth is knowledge, watching TV here, there, getting knowledge here and there, and fifth is rest and sleep and all these things, and sixth is sometimes the worship is not of that quality. So these are some of the things which the nafs can actually get its share. So this technique of spiritual fast was shown by here the Shaykh, and also in the hadith of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam he indicated, even those normal things which a person eating, drinking, tiredness, earning, anger, greed, even those can get you to closeness of Allah if you know how to, the technique, the method. They can also benefit you. So, first of all, one should know that fasting, what is fast? Some people do it as a command, but it also an act of love. Act of love. How is the act of love? I cannot do anything to benefit Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah does not benefit. But Allah is favoring. So like someone, a king is giving you millions and millions of pounds and everything, and you say, what can I give the king? I can't give. I only can give thankfulness. I will leave these pleasures which the king has given me and be in his company. I will sacrifice my pleasure because the king has given me out of love. Well, that is what a fasting person is doing. It's an act of love. It's not an act of force or punishment or anything like this. How? Because you know Allah Azza wa Jal has created you. He is bestowing His mercy, His blessings. If one thing doesn't stop working, your whole life is ruined. If you have cancer, one disease, your whole life is affected. You have high blood pressure, all life can be affected. You have other disease, all life can be affected. Meaning it's just one small thing. And who is controlling everything? There are many people who doctors mostly say, I had a surgery. So before surgery and any surgery, they say, most of these surgeries, you can die, you can be worse than before, we can't cure you. And meaning that is reality. They're saying we are not the healers. Go to them and have all these medicine even you take, there's a long list of side effects. You can have a heart attack if you have paracetamol. Possibility. You can have this. So person thinks then, well, what I am taking them for. Because there is possibility of benefit, but where the benefit will come from the healer. Healing is not in the medicine or in the hand of doctor. जिस तरह कई लोग कहते हैं ना, वो his hands are, इसके हाथ में, फलां डॉक्टर के हाथ में शिफा है. नहीं, अल्लाह के हाथ में शिफा है, सिर्फ डॉक्टर के हाथ में नहीं है. डॉक्टर के हाथ में होती तो वो खुद मरता ही ना कभी. If he had the healing power, then he would. So they themselves, we and you are saying these things, they don't say. वो तो डॉक्टर तो जिससे पूछो, they will say, we don't have. You can die, you can have this, you can have this, it's up to you, we can give you. So when one knows, then they are also actually saying that it is someone else who actually cures. So a person should know. So when we have so many blessings, everything, millions things are synchronized and working in synergy, and that we are living, how can we do something for Allah? We cannot. So when we cannot, okay, we say, Ya Allah, just to thank you, just love you, those things which are lawful for us, we will even leave those for you, just as a token of thankfulness. So I will not eat, I will not drink, just to show my love to you, that I can do anything for you. So that is it. Fasting an act of, see it as an act of love. When you know this, you see actually people doing things, very, very hard things. They love, they are training day and night, the athletes, the others, and those who say, we love you and we can do anything for you. This really means they can't do anything for you. It's all meaning actually just saying and words. I will bring stars for you, I will bring this for you. This is all actually drama and fraud, which even sometimes they don't know themselves. So have this mindset, acting, fasting. So here it says, intention that connects the nafs to the love of Allah. So if you have this intention, Ya Allah, I am not leaving fast, eating and drinking because you need or you benefit in any way. This is just to thank you. And where the Allah Azza wa Jal have mentioned, we always listen, Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu kutiba alaykumus siyam kama kutiba alal ladhina min qablikum la'allakum tattaqun. So that you may be more muttaqi and God conscious. So we forget that other verses after that, they also mention other purposes of fasting. وَلِتُكَبِّرُوا اللَّهَ عَلَى مَا هَدَاكُمْ وَلَعَلَّكُمْ تَشْكُرُونَ. Just 1-2 verses after. Fasting purpose is also, but lastly this is the mention. Firstly is taqwa, and then actually لَعَلَّكُمْ تَشْكُرُونَ, that it's an act of thankfulness, like it says here, where you can see it's a blessing, a love, and act of thankfulness. And love of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala jalla majduhu. So this is one beautiful, you may say, intention of fast which you can do. So the seeker makes the intention that they are leaving their lawful desires, especially, and unlawful, obviously, as a thankful that Allah Azza wa Jalla is blessing us. Okay. So when one is in that mindset, one implements, then what happens is, the more hunger you become, the more you enjoy, because you think now you're doing something for Allah Azza wa Jalla. You don't say, oh, I'm hungry, or I'm starving, but you say, yes, now I'm doing something for Allah at least. And the pangs of hunger and thirst, that is why the Sahaba Ikram Rizwan Ajma'in and the others, pious people, they used to enjoy fast more than actually the other, because They thought actually we are doing this. One, fasting is all about pleasure of Allah, preference to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. One person came to a saintly person. He said, I want to see a karama, miracle. I want to have some charismatic powers, miraculous powers. Can you give me this? Or can you show me? He said, this is small thing, I can show you something much bigger than that. I said, really? All I've heard is karamat is a very big thing. He said, there's something bigger than that. He said, well, yeah, you can share with me. He said, look, mu'jiza and karama, miracle shown for people in the time of Anbiya through a prophet or through a wali. What are they? For example, karama, mu'jiza or a mu'jiza, miracle shown in the time of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. For example, Abu Jahl and Mushrikeen in Makkah, they said, show us the moon split in two. So miracle happened or didn't? But did it benefit Abu Jahl and others? Saleh alayhi salam's, the Prophet Saleh, members of his nation, his ummah said, we want to see a miracle, a camel coming out of this mountain. He said, okay, I pressed Allah Azza wa Jal. So camel came out. Did it benefit them? No. There were thousands, maybe hundreds and thousands of people. In the books of tafsir, it is written, only one person believed. And he was not amongst them. He was just a passerby, some going to somewhere else, and he thought, what's happening? And he ended up believing. They didn't benefit. So he said, so this saintly person, this Shaykh Shazali, he said that, look, miracles happen, people have not benefited. I will teach you a miracle, you will benefit. He said, yeah, that's wonderful. You will definitely benefit. What is that? He said, what is karama? What is mu'jiza? That is Allah fulfilling the will, the desire of people. What is mu'jiza? Mushrikeen in Makkah said, we want this. It's people who said, we want to see a miracle. So Allah did what people want. Salih alayhi salam's time, Allah did what Salih alayhi salam's community asked him to do. Or actually, or Isa alayhi salam's nation said, Rabbana anzil alayna ma'idatan minas sama, manno salwa. So people want, Allah did. So what is miracle in the normal sense? Allah does what people want. He said, I will teach you a greatest thing. You do whatever Allah wills. Is this bigger or that bigger? Because when you will do what Allah wills, that is mother of karama. That is the king of karama. So much that karamats are like, okay, one saintly person from him, this happened, or something. But a person who fulfills the will of Allah and pleasure of Allah, Allah says, Inna akramakum indallahi atqakum. Karamats does not come out of him, he himself become karama. Inna akramahu, he said, the most sahibe karamat in the sight of Allah is the one who fulfills, who is the muttaqi, who lives the will of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. तो ये आप समझें कि करामत क्या चीज है. करामत ये है कि अल्लाह आपकी मर्जी पूरी कर दे. करामत से भी बड़ी करामत ये है कि तुम अल्लाह की मर्जी पूरी कर दो. तो ये जो तकवा है, ये जो रोजा है, and the fasting is all about fulfilling the wish, the will and the pleasure of Allah and leaving what you like. But we normally say, oh yes, this miracle, the moon split in two. Yes, it was great miracle, but it didn't benefit those people. But this type of karama which Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam taught, iman and amal salihat, that you wish to do this, your nafs desires something else, but you fulfill the will of Allah. You give preference to Allah's command. This is greatest karma. That's why in the Tariqah Muhammadiyah, one of the objectives, first objective is ta'zeemu li amrillah. If Allah is doing what you want, that's not a big deal, because your wish is being fulfilled. Who are you and me? Big deal is when you are fulfilling the command and will of Allah. And for this, you have opportunity every day, all the time, this type of karama. That's why the muttaqi person supersedes others. And in fasting, that's what you are doing. So forget about, don't stop running behind karamas and think you become sahibi karama yourself. You become karama from head to toe, because when your head, your mind, your body, heart, soul, your eyes are fulfilling the will of Allah, they themselves are honorable. So much honorable, you cannot imagine. If this was not hadith, people would not believe. Hadith Qudsi, so much honorable. Allah says in Hadith Qudsi, I become his eyes with which what he sees. I become his hand with which he holds. This is a Sahih Hadith with Sahih Asnad, where Allah says that my servant draws closer to me by offering fara'id, and then he offers optionally, he also does things out of love, so much so that I become his hand with which he holds, I become his eyes with which he sees, I become the ears with which he hears, meaning that his all things work according to my command. How about this karama? What a karamat this is, that Allah is saying, I become his eyes and things. And if dead become alive for you, like Isa alayhi salam did mu'jiza, didn't benefit people much. Every day there are miracles around you, really. If you ponder over, you yourself are a miracle. How you were born from dust. How were you formed from a fluid, spermatic fluid? This is itself a miracle. How did you come out of the womb of the mother? The sun, everything you see and ponder, you will see a miracle. But thing is that what you become. So this is the intention of fast. And the breaking of the fast, for the fast is, like Rasulullah ﷺ mentioned in this hadith, that there is pleasure. So there are two types of, one is that because you now actually have been fasting and you find relief, pleasure, because Allah is feeding you again. And second type of fasting, pleasure will happen, this will be a day of Eid. Meeting Allah will also be like breaking the fast, in that one's whole life they have been fasting from seeing their Lord's beauty, and this will be broken in paradise when the servant sees his Lord. Because a person like Imam Abu Hanifa rahimahullah said, there's one fast for life. One fast means stopping sinning. He said some people fast for life, and the angel of death, he comes with the bishara of opening that fast. His fast breaks there. So meeting, seeing Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Jalla Majduhu. Anyway, we will just cover one or two, inshallah, at least you know the 6 levels of the fast of the nafs. This is not talking about the body, the mind, hearts, but soul, the nafs, actually. So even if you understand one, at least you will benefit. Look, here what's happening. The desires of eating and drinking. Everyone eat or drinks, human beings. If you eat and drink out of just heedless, just you're eating, focusing on eating and thing, okay, that is fine. But you can actually perform higher level of worship if you connect the desire of eating and drinking with the sifat of Allah. By practicing and connecting to these qualities at the time of iftar and sahur, so a seeker's eating and drinking will transform. For example, Allah's quality of Razzaq. So when you, for example, eating food, okay, it's very good, and you think about Allah's quality, Razzaq, Allah is the provider. So this means that your eating has become worship as well, not only fast. And you're connected to Allah. So we think about nothing. We even don't actually think about people who have cooked for us. Let's side Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So Prophet Islam taught that when you eat, Alhamdulillah alladhi at'amana wa saqana, that even connect eating, drinking with Allah, and that's worship for you. Many people have ideas. Okay, this is Shadaliya Tariq, Tariqa Muhammadi, is Tariq of Shukr. There is no extreme mujahida, or you may say extreme, oh, I have to now pray 100 rakat every day and fast every day and do this dhikr or go here. No, as I was mentioning, as Brother Zafar was mentioned to you, after fry, just do two things. This is tariq shukr, meaning actually you are fried and aqidah, you connected to Allah. Secondly, just be silent, observe silence. Fast is as though you're fasting from sin, and also use less talk. And secondly, just be good with whoever you meet. Working, you are with your spouse, you are on the street, you are with an animal, you are with actually whoever actually you are interacting with, a pet or human being or non-Muslim or the earth, wherever you are. Be good in conduct and be silent. No recitation of Quran you have done, no dhikr you have done. You will be reaching highest level of closeness to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. अब देखिए कितना आसान है, how easy it is. You're saying, oh, I can't do this, I am very lazy, I've started the path, but well, here are two things, just do them. Two things are do nothing basically. That's what it is, that silent and no worship except fries, just having a good husnul khuluq. Tulu samt, Sayyidina Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, ala adullukum ala khaslatayn, ya Abazar, or Abu Zar, shall I not tell you about two things, two qualities that are so heavy on the scales of Allah on the day of judgment, and no other creation can match you. These amal, they bring zikr, they bring sadaqah, they're not equal to that. Imagine, one person have done dhikr, one have given sadaqah, one is done this tilawat of Quran, but Prophet ﷺ said, they will not be able to match these two. तो अब किसके पास excuse है? Who have the excuse now? By aqidah, have your life, worldview, put akhirah in akhirah place, dunya place, parents on parents place, shaitan on his place, and nafs on his place, meaning aqidah. And after fries ये है कि रमज़ान आए रोज़ा रख लें, नमाज का टाइम है नमाज पढ़ लें, बाकी कोई जिक्र, कोई मुराकबा, कोई वजीफा, कोई nothing. Yeah, if you want to do, you can. But for salvation, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said in this hadith, is not required. ये तरीक़ा मुहम्मदी है, easy. That's why Imam Abul Hasan Shazili said that actually the immature Shaykh or guide, he puts people in hardship of actually amal and things, that do this wazifa, thousand times. And from where the true guide makes things easier and connects the heart and guides the person to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah is, even our mashayikh don't like dwelling on sins, like some people, for example, okay, my past I have done this, my future I don't know what I will do. So it's no use dwelling on sin. We are not created to think about sins and our past or our future. We are created to think and connect to the Lord. Okay, sin have happened. Do tawbah in the proper way. Forget it. Now, leave it to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Future, have good intention and rely upon Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Not all the time that you are doing tasbih of sins all the time. Or tasbih of good deeds. No. Think about Allah. Allah is with me. Connect with Him. So, through the even eating and drinking, you can get closeness to Allah. There is a hadith. Prophet Islam said, a person who is fasting and a person who is not fasting, eating, but he is shakir. He is also like the person who is fasting. And the Prophet Islam again and again mentioned. So Islam is not difficult at all. It only takes evil away from you. So all people who are sitting here, if anyone is in a government, for example, or actually in politics, or actually in business, and they want to get on with it, good and well. Offer the fara'is, and after they practice these two things, that is the Tariqa Muhammad is actually for foundational teaching. After all, if you want to go further, okay, doors are open, there are further levels and things, etc. So this level 1, people have died, as I mentioned in the morning in another actually Nasiha, that if you want to know your real self, many people say, I don't know where I am. I will tell you where you are now. If you want to know where you are and who you are, you see, there are two parts of you. One is what you show people. You come to the mosque, you speak to others, you just put a face on you to be good and to actually to look good and do some good. So one aspect of your life is what you show people. One aspect of your life is what you hide from people. Oh, my wife shouldn't know this. People shouldn't know this, what I have in my mind, what I have watched. I don't want actually this, etc., etc. So there is aspect of your life which you want to keep hidden. It is hidden. You don't want to share with people. You delete things. You actually do things. Oh, I don't want to share this with anyone. So there is a part of your life or deeds which are hidden and you like to hide. No one knows about your bad side or actually your dark side. And the good side you are presenting. So if you want to know where you are and who you are, the personality which you are hiding, the deeds which you are hiding, that is the real you. And that is where you are in relation to Allah or Deen or whatever. No rocket science in there. You can be your own judge here now. So everyone will have two aspects. One is you are showing your smiley face and beard and here, there, and prayer and thing. And one is that ugly face which some family members might only know, or your spouse might know, or some other people who you defrauded and you are very not good with, they know. So that's hidden part of you. That hidden part is the real you. Forget about the showing part. That's a show off. That can be just actually showing off. That can be just actually, you may say, drama. But sometimes people have very beautiful inside. If you're hiding some good deeds and things you don't, okay, that's you as well. Thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So this is fasting. That actually it treats your inner self, the side which is hidden. तो अपने आप को जानने का, या मैं कहाँ हूँ, मैं कौन हूँ, मैं कैसा हूँ, बहुत आसान तरीका है कि आपकी शख्सियत के दो हिस्से, एक जो है जिसको आप जाहिर करते हैं, एक वो है जो आप छुपाते हैं. जो छुपाते हैं वो है आप असल में. जो शख्सियत का हिस्सा, जो अमल आपने लोगों से छुपा के रखे हैं और कहते हैं ना हो, तो वो है. अल्लाह ने कुरान मजीद में इसके बारे में फरमाया, बलिल इंसान व अला नफ्सिही बसीरा. अल्लाह ने फरमाया इंसान खुद अपने नफ्स पर को बुजुर्ग अच्छा तरह जानता है वो क्या है, सिर्फ वो देखने की जरूरत है. सिर्फ गौर करने की जरूरत. And once you know what you are, then work your way to improve it. So the fasting actually helps in there. So a person might have desire to eat and drink. You can connect to the sifat of Allah. Plus also if it is unlawful, for example, you have desire but you cannot get it, it's not lawful for you, you see other types of things, other people's possessions or whatever. So this lawful desire, you also connect to the sifat of Allah. This means you are connected to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But people have desire to eat here, this and have more and things. Okay, if it is something unlawful, let's say you have still, let's say you greed has come in you, or actually shahwat or anything. What you do is, again, through the sifat of Allah, direct it to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that you become greedy for the closeness of Allah. Become greedy to benefit people. You can also become greedy to actually do these things. Why I have to be greedy only to harm people and be a shaitan and devil? Why I'm not greedy like the Prophet al-Islam? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned in the Quran, I have sent you, the messenger have been sent to you. لَقَدْ جَاءَكُمْ رَسُولٌ مِّنْ أَنفُسِكُمْ عَزِيزٌ عَلَيْهِ مَا عَنِتُّمْ حَرِيصٌ عَلَيْكُمْ. He is haris. He's so eager, but he's so desirous. But desirous of what? Any money, anything? No. Alaykum bil mu'minin. That you believe and you become. So you see, this way, if you learn this technique, especially those people who are on the purification of the soul, the first day, even all these normal day things can connect you to Allah. Even the bad things also, if you actually divert them towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, become greedy for akhirah, greedy for Jannah, greedy for higher level of Jannah, that's good. But if you are greedy for dunya and oppressing people and actually outdoing people, competing, then actually it's bad. So one way you can be attached to dunya, the other way attached to Allah through the same thing, eating, drinking, money, and everything actually. So what awliya Allah do? They always use the dunya to connect to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So where did walis come from? Walis were made here in this dunya, because they used dunya to actually connect to Allah. And where are the shayateen and things that bad people also are? They become trapped here because they just held dunya for dunya and they are held here. If they could hold it, but the problem is they won't be able to hold it, they have to leave, or the dunya have to leave. Even though, okay, you have left Allah, I want money, I want car, I want this, I want government, but everything is going to leave you. So similarly, there are 5 others, worldly things, like how earnings, money can connect you to Allah, how tiredness, even fatigue, how knowledge, how sleep, and these patterns. Inshallah, if we have time another time, we will inshallah also cover that. But these things you should know, connect the normal eating and fast for, to love Allah, to thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And as a takeaway, if you really want to benefit according to Rasulullah alayhi salatu wasalam, just observe these two. कोई कुरान भी शा खत्म ना करे, कोई ज़्यादा लंबे नफल ना पढ़े, कोई चीज़. You are having tasbih 1000, you have done whatever tasbih, बस वो रखी, उसके बाद लड़ाई शुरू हो गई. फ़ोन किया, क्या हाल है? अच्छा, मैं ज़रा आधा घंटा तस्बीह पे रहा हूँ अब, ताकि वो ज़ाया कैसे हो, बताओ क्या हो रहा है, और दूसरे क्या कर रहे हैं. बस वो सारा कुछ खर्च करके तो फिर राम आया. तो end of the day, what will that person have who loses whatever he actually earns? Better than that person is who is silent. रोज़ा रख लिया है, stomach is fasting, his lips are fasting, is silent. अच्छी बात करता है, he speaks good, otherwise stay silent. ना ज़्यादा जिक्र करो, ना ज़्यादा कुछ करो. And be good in conduct. These two things the Prophet ﷺ said, Wallazi, I swear by the name of Allah, by the Zat of Allah, no other creation, no one can match these two amals. So don't underestimate them, because our is the amal, by ye karo, wo karo, but if that's destroyed, then actually it is nothing. So may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala firstly enable myself and yourself actually to benefit from this Ramadan in the best possible way.